all right. Welcome to the C.O.E. show. Today I got a super special guest, especially she's super special to me, Tina Gagliardi. How you doing, Tina?
I'm doing great.
Yeah, how's your day been today?
It's been really amazing, a very hot day, but just working out in the yard, getting some plants ready, getting succulents going, and had the grandkids today at my office, and we were picking little dandelions and blowing little flowers everywhere and making wishes.
That's right. So tell us a little about yourself.
Well, I'm a mom, and I have 2 kids, and my kids are my world. I started being a mom at a very young age, at 15, and I just had to make sure I led life to the best, and my life was to make sure that I finished high school young. So at 16 I graduated and got me in Ariana a little house of our own, and then from there kind of rented 3 houses. Things didn't go right, and then at 18 I decided it was time to buy my own home. So on my 18th birthday I got my keys to my house, and this year will be 25 years in my home.
Dang.
So, I just wanted to make sure I had a nice house for the kids to live in all their life and be stationed in one place, and we didn't have to keep going places, and then from there I just made sure I kept working, did some college, but 3 years of college was just pretty much just learning things, because did office manager stuff, did business administration, got my certificates, and then I did my medical. But
Let me stop you real quick. Did you say at 18 years old you bought a home?
At 18 years old, I bought my house, and I got my keys on my 18th birthday.
Dang, that's beast mode.
It was pretty amazing, I'll tell you that. People said, you ain't gonna do it, but I don't know. God was on my back, and he said, she's getting this house. So on my 18th birthday, they gave me the keys, and that led my first part of my life, really, after my first daughter,
Man, that's amazing. That stuck with me right now. I was like 18 years old. How old was it, Ariana?
Ariana was a year and a half old at that time.
Dang.
So, a year and a half, so she almost was 2. And, and I was working at Jack in the Box at the time, and I was a manager at Jack in the Box for 7 months, and that's what pretty much got me the loan, is me being a manager at Jack in the Box. And then I worked at Jack in the Box almost 11 years, and that's what got me my house for those 11 years, kept me going, and led me through management through Ridgecrest.
Were you still in school at that time?
Yes, I was. No. At 16 years old, I graduated. I graduated a year and a half young than I needed to. So I was 16 years old, and at Mesquite High School, I ended up going to Mesquite High School because at Burroughs, they didn't want kids there that were pregnant. So I was an honor student, and 2 days of school at Burroughs, they switched me to Mesquite at 14 years old, and I had to go be at a different type of school, but I took it to the best, and I became ASB president, and then I led the school with great meetings and had great conferences. I made the first prom in Mesquite, and still today they're having their proms today, and I was the first prom queen in Mesquite, so that was kind of
that's
really
huge.
Cool. So Mesquite was a big thing to me, from going from Burroughs and kind of being put to a school like that. But people say it's for kids that were in drugs and stuff, but it's for the kids that just needed help, or kids that are having children. Like, there was 36 of us moms graduating.
I say it's for the special ones.
It sure is.
Because I went to Mesquite.
Yeah, and there's so many special things that's happened in the 2 years I went there,
Yeah.
And then I got Optimist of the Year when I was there, and then when I graduated from high school, I got $13,778 in scholarships.
Dang.
So I took that money, and that's how I got my first apartment, and I did 3 years of college, but the college didn't really lead me where I needed it. I was always a manager at my job, so I kind of just kept being a manager and just kept moving to different things until, I've always just done manager jobs, but it's just been one of those big things, is kind of keep leading things and moving on. But another thing I love to do is I sell Mary Kay, and Mary Kay is a big thing in my life. It's not only about the part that, we sell skincare and we sell makeup, but Mary Kay has a huge foundation, and the foundation supports breast cancers and all types of cancers, and it supports domestic violence. And through my life, I've been through some of those stages of life, domestic violence, and Mary Kay has helped lots of women in that, and I think it's amazing that she comes out to give foundations and donations to women. And then with the cancer situation, I have so many friends and family members that have had cancer, and on top of that, at 40 years old, I got breast cancer, and I had to fight it myself, you know. So for 3 years, I'm cancer-free as of March 23rd, but I went through 3 crazy years of COVID cancer, and that was probably the craziest thing, you know, going through the cancer at the COVID time and things like that. So, you know, I live in Ridgecrest, so in Ridgecrest, our hospitals here are not the greatest thing. So I've been trying to go to the hospitals many years, just tell them all these little girl issues I have in my life, and they don't really listen to us. So I had a certain doctor, and I kept telling her about these pains I had, things like that, and she tried telling me there's no such thing, cancer hurts, there's no such thing as, you know, lumps starting in your nipples, things like that. So after 4 months of testing, I was still having all these pains, working at my job, crying at my desk, wondering what's wrong. So I decided, one of my girlfriends wrote me a little email and said, hey, I'm kind of going through the same thing you are. I want you to go and talk to this doctor. So 2 days, this doctor scheduled me an appointment, and Dr. Skanowski, he took me in, and in 2 days, he did my testing, and in 3 days, I found out I had DCIS cancer, which is a ductal stenosis cancer that's in the ducts of the breast. So because of that type of cancer that I had, with all the testing and things that I had, I ended up being a stage 0, which meant that as long as I removed everything, I would not have to go through chemo and radiation, which was a big thing in my life, you know, because chemo and radiation does a lot of things to your body. But, you know, even having the double mastectomy and things like that, it was more of, we had 5 surgeries to go through, but it was more of mentally how to keep yourself going, because the surgeries kind of take you down, but then you just got to keep getting up and moving and keeping yourself happy to keep going and knowing that everything's going to be fine at the end of this, you know. So March, I hit 3 years cancer-free, and I'm super happy that, you know, everything will be fine. I do have a gene that is CHOC2, which means that colon cancer or breast cancer come back, but in my case, breast cancer would never come back to me. And you know, it's just something we need to be aware of, because I'm young and my daughter's young and my family, that means they could all be tested because of how young I was. So it's really a great thing that it probably happened at a young age, because it kind of led the family to know what could happen, or just to get them tested so they know what's going on, you know. So the cancer was a big part of my life, just to kind of keep me strong and keep me moving. You know, it just kept me going, you know, and I knew in my head that God had my back the whole time.
You know what's crazy is the way you were moving, some people would have never known you even had it.
There's many people that didn't, you know, but
you know, you were still helping people, you know, as you were the one that didn't have the problems, you know. It was crazy, you know, seeing you still stay strong during all that time, still you know, hustle. You were hustling, you know, you were slinging your Mary Kay, you were selling your tamales, you were doing whatever you had to do just to make ends meet in order to move forward, you know.
Right.
And it's like you came out stronger.
Yes, I did. Very strong. And you gotta hustle. Life is not always about working, you know. To keep moving, to keep going on, you know, it's always about what are you gonna do next? What's gonna come up next? Because you can't stop with the one job, and you can't stop with the one hustle, because there's so much to do and there's so many things to take care of, you know. So what also came in my life at the time of cancer was February, when I found out I had cancer, I started selling Pampered Chef. So Pampered Chef is a big cooking supply company, and, you know, we get recipes and things like that. Well, I love to cook. So I was thinking, how am I going to make money? You know, and I knew I was going on disability, so I had to be prepared. So in February, I prepared myself, started my business of Pampered Chef, knowing that my surgeries were coming in March and April. So I started my business in February. In 1 year, just on Facebook, never had someone in my home. I sold $60,000 in 1 year at Pampered Chef.
$60,000
in 2020 of COVID. Just sitting on Facebook and selling products. Almost $8,000 to $9,000 a month of selling, making $2,000 to $4,000 a month of commission.
Dang.
So one time I posted, hey, we're going to have a raffle. I'm going to sell, give away this $150 basket. And my doctor's like, see how many parties you get booked. Insanely, in September, I booked 19 parties.
19
And I
parties.
held 19 parties in September, all on Facebook.
You know
all
what's crazy
typing.
is you're going through all this stuff and you're still making it happen with no excuses.
No excuses.
I'm just saying this so there's a lot of people probably going to be listening to this, and a lot of people make excuses for their life, and I watch you and it inspires me. You're a huge drive to what I do every single day is watching you not make any excuses. Same with my mother. Like, you women are so powerful in my life that I watch you work, and it's inspiring. No matter what you get thrown at you, you don't let it stop you or hold you down. You just let it make you stronger, and it just becomes a life lesson.
Yes.
And it's like there's just I'm just gonna say there's a lot of things you go through that I was just like, damn, how she do it.
And tell you the truth, it's one day at a time. Every day I get up, what am I going to do today? I got to keep myself going. But the first thing is I wake up with a smile, because the world has to have a happy face. And with these beautiful smiles, you got to share it with everybody, because if you ain't smiling and you look at somebody and they're kind of cranky, you're going to smile at them because it's going to make their day more happier. You don't know how many people you're going to change that day by just, hey man, you look great today. Look at that beautiful dress you're wearing. It's all about the motivation or an affirmation too. Like, wake up every day with an affirmation. Tell yourself, I'm beautiful. I'm a great person. I'm going to be encouraged today. I'm going to go out and do this. What am I going to sell today? How much money do I want to make today? That's what you have to do. And you ain't going to do it unless you get up and do it. Some people tell me, man, reading your Facebook makes me so tired. I'm like, what? Well, if it makes you that tired, you got to get up and do something. Because that means you're sitting down. Get up. You got to get up and hustle.
Gotta move.
If I ain't cleaning, if I ain't crafting, if I ain't cooking, I'm working. Or I'm hustling something. What am I going to sell next? We got Administrative Day coming up. We got Nurse Day coming up. Mother's Day is coming up. So, I got all my baskets and my flower bouquets I make every year for Mother's Day. And I put Mary Kay products in it, and I put fake flowers in it, or foam flowers, because you want them to stay there forever. And if you give them real flowers, they're going to die the next day or maybe 3 days later, and you're spending $90-something on it, but if you have the fake flowers, they're going to be with them for as long as they want, And, there's this special holidays that you got to recognize people and just think of who they are or what they're doing for you, just something small. But I like to do every holiday. If it's decorating, if it's making something, if it's cooking, I like to make every holiday something. It doesn't matter what it is. I want something, like, I want some kind of cute dessert, or something has to be decorated. It doesn't matter what holiday. I love to decorate and love to cook. So that's a big thing, is cooking. Cooking is probably my favorite thing.
Who's your favorite cook?
So I used to love to watch Gordon Ramsay, but I would probably never want to go on a show because he's so cool and the way he speaks to people. But I'm pretty sure I could handle it. But for me, I'm kind of like my own passion of cooking. I wouldn't want to be told like how fast you got to get it done, and you have 30 minutes to do this, because you can rush your food, but I like to make all different things and all gets done at different times. So I don't know, I could be rushed if I needed to, but that's not something I would want to do. But I would love to go be with Gordon Ramsay one day and just cook with him, or just go try his food, but that's great. But also, Guy Fieri, I love watching all his drive shows. So my big goal in life is to have my own food truck. That's been my goal since, probably 20 years now. But every year I like to sell food to my friends, or just they like to buy things. So tamales has probably been my biggest thing, and tamales started because of my son. So he does a lot of basketball as he grew up, so mom didn't have a lot of money. I hustled tamales. So every month, if I needed money for that, if I needed to go to the hotel, if he needed to food, if he needed money to pay for that outfit, we're hustling tamales. And that's how I made the money to make sure he had his basketball every year, or baseball. But, you know, we quit baseball at 8th grade because I'm like, pick one. You know, mom has to tell you. But, you know, tamales has always been the thing because it makes the money when I need it, you know. And yeah, it's a lot of work. And I do it mostly all by myself, you know. 3 years ago, during the breast cancer time, I sold 140 dozen of tamales in 2 months. And I did it all by myself, you know. And by the time I hit 95 dozen, I had to take a week off because my arm wouldn't move.
Because your arm was sore. Oh, too much working out.
So, you know, working that arm, you know, plus having the surgery and whatnot, but nothing stopped me. I still sold 140 dozen of tamales, and no one's going to stop me from selling, you know. And, you know, it's just people want to turn people in for little things like that. But, you know, it's all about just sharing your food and sharing this. Everybody has a different quality of something, you know. And
you're high quality.
I love food. And most of the time, I'm going to tell you guys the truth. I don't even taste my food. Most of the time, I just serve it. Because, I don't know, I mean, I taste it when I sit down and eat it, you know, but I'm just like, well, if I follow the directions, everything should be right, you know. So, I would say probably 2 times, there's probably 2 meals in life that people are like, oh, Tina, don't make that one again, you know. And that was like pork chops and apples and something else. But, you know, I'm going to say the biggest type of food that people love me making is definitely Mexican and egg rolls, you know. And Indian tacos is probably the #1 thing ever. But most people don't know what an Indian taco is, but it's like this homemade bread. It's all Navajo, Native American style. So you have to stretch the bread out and then you fry it and it becomes air-filled. And it's just like a taco, but it's a big taco, you know. But I love to sell those. So Sunday, you guys, it's going to be the Buck and Good food truck. You're going to see it rolling down the road. It's going to have a mule on it, just like the desert that we live in, because we wouldn't want to have a different theme. Because we're from the desert, you know. Yep. The desert's what brought us, you know. This is who we are, you know. So people are like, Tina, you're going to leave, you know, Ridgecrest one day? Tell you the truth, I don't ever dream of leaving here. I don't have a problem here. I
love Ridgecrest.
You know?
Especially the more I travel everywhere, the more I love coming home.
Yes.
You know, people are like, why do you love that town so much? I said, honestly, it's peaceful. You know, I love the environment. I love knowing everyone, you know, well, kind of knowing everyone, you know, at least to a certain point, you know, and it's a lot of community here, you know.
We have a lot of older community, and that's probably what makes our town great, too, with that kind of community. Like my street, I mean...
Depends which older community. There's some older community that don't even want us to progress, you know. They want Ridgecrest in the old ways, old days, you know. And then we got the new communities. Yeah, you know, adaptation, man. You got to adapt a little bit, you know. Yeah. At least be more open, you know. Just, you know, I don't know. I don't judge nobody, but I always, I do say people could be more open, you know. Yeah. That's definitely for sure. Especially in the times we are in, you know. You hit the world with a more open mind. You're able to get through a lot of situations a lot easier, you know. Especially when you take into consideration what people say, you know, people's thoughts, feelings, you know. Yeah. It's a lot easier, or you get to understand them. You know, that's another good way, you know, to. Yeah. Well, yeah, Tina Gagliardi. You know, I swear, your daughter corrected me like 20 times before I had to pull you up here. She's like Gagliardi, and I still forgot how to say it. I had you train me real quick. That's so funny. It's because I'm just used Tina Buck. Everywhere I go, I hear Tina Buck. Oh, you're related to Tina Buck. I'll be in work at Walmart. Everybody be like, Tina Buck, yo, you know. I'm like, do I know you? You know? She's like, no, but I know you. You know, I see you on Tina's Facebook all the time. You know, I was like, oh, that's funny. You know. Yeah. But it's just because, you know, you're a huge role model in this community. That's why I wanted to bring you on this really bad. You know, I was like, I have to have you on my first episodes, you know, because you're just a real powerful person in my life, you know, and every day, you know, I think about just the women in my life. Honestly, it's mainly, you know, I'm very thankful for the men in my life, but since the beginning, you know, it's like the women in my life, you know, just play a strong role. You know, it's just the way I was raised, you know. That's probably why I treat ladies so well, you know. You know, I treat everyone really good and as much as respect as possible, you know. And except your daughter, because she's mean to me. No, I'm just kidding. No, I love her
She
a
takes
lot.
after me then, because I have some meanness too.
Just kidding. I respect her. I love her a lot. But let's get to it. How was it growing up?
Growing up was always my mom. She raised 4 kids, and tell you the truth, really, she raised 6 kids because my dad left me and us kids when we were young, so he's been in prison all of our life. It's been hard for my mom as growing up because she had 4 of her own kids to raise, and then she got a boyfriend and she ended up raising 2 more. So from the time I was 2 to 12, there were 6 of us. So we had a 6-pack. So there was always, 4 girls to a room, 2 boys to a room. Always a packed house, But the thing about having a packed house was we bonded, and we bonded well. So I'm going to say that us sisters and brothers always stuck together. Like whatever we had to do, we were always a clan. They would call us the 6-pack clan because we stuck together, And even when our stepsister and brother, moved away back with their mom and stuff, us 4 kids, we were always one big pack, and nothing would happen unless we were all there together, So we always stuck by our sides. We protected our mom, probably overprotected her, It was just something we felt we did and had to do. I moved out when I was 16 after I graduated just because I had a baby. I got pregnant at 14 years old. First time I decided to have sex, and did not use protection. So at 15, I had my first daughter, and that's what changed my life.
Yeah.
So my life kind of, I didn't really have a teenage life. I didn't go out and do all those parties and things. So after I had a daughter, I was just like, oh, now it's about my daughter. So then it was all about school and graduating to what's gonna make sure we stay in one spot. That's when the house came along, and then I just feel that growing up, we all been close, me, my sisters and brothers, and I just love how we're all close, and our kids have been so close together. Like it's just like one big family all the time, And I know there's so many families out there that have issues, maybe they don't talk for 5, 6, 7 years, maybe sometimes never, But I don't feel that would ever happen in our family. I just feel like we're one big family that's always been stuck by each other's side, or just.
I can relate to that because my family's pretty ghetto, and we be doing some fucked up shit, and at the end of the day, we just like, we love you. You
right.
mean, and we just deal with it, because I know you dealt with it.
Oh,
We've
yeah.
dealt with it, and it's just like, okay, now how are we gonna grow from this, And
Right.
What's crazy is though the growth, on both sides of the families, that I see, and I say that you have led a lot of it, because you just continue to put your foot down, you just continue to stay consistent. Consistency is like key to anything in life. You stay consistent, just great things will start happening.
Yeah.
And I see that it was a trickle down effect with you. That people are like, you're their go-to. Every single person in the family you're the go-to.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't matter how much people backstab you, step on your feet. I can go on. And you're right there cooking dinner for them, feeding them, making sure, right after they just burned you, you're giving them dinner.
Yeah.
And it's like, you're a really selfless person, I'm that way a little bit, but I don't seeing you, it taught me put my foot down more, I was like, hell no, I was like, you're so nice, like, you got so much patience, and it's like, and I already see with the way you are with the grandkids, and everything. You're an amazing grandmother, top notch, and it's just like they're becoming so smart, because the way you teach them and everything, and they're always learning, with you and Papa, they're always learning. There's always something. They come home more educated, every time.
So my big inspiration in my world were my grandparents. My grandma and grandpa were like another parent to me. My grandpa was handicapped, all my life, you know. So when he was 23, he caught polio, and he swallowed some water, and that water gave him polio and made him his left side where he had no muscle movement, so he was paralyzed to the left side, but he still could walk with crutches, you know. So I think just watching my grandfather and the things that he went through, I lived with him for a few years of my life, and you know, he's very stern. I had to be in by 5 o'clock. Dinner was at 5, and if you weren't there, you didn't get dinner. That was the life, you know. And grades, you better have a C or better, or you're going to be told you're grounded, you know. Back then, you know, we didn't have cell phones. We didn't have pagers. Pagers just came out when I was in junior high, you know. But doing algebra and stuff, I mean, I was sitting in my room some nights, 3-4 hours on 2 problems, just trying to figure out this dang algebra. And, you know, you ain't coming out of that room until that's done, you know. It didn't matter if I wanted to see, you know, my sisters and brothers. Till your homework's done, you are not out. And if you weren't done by 6 p.m., you didn't get to see them until the next day, because, you know, you got out of school at 2:30, you're walking home, you get home, you got to do your homework, dinner's at 5, you're done, you know. So that's how Grandpa kind of raised it, you know. He's very stern, but he was handicapped, and he made sure he could do everything himself, you know. Even when he got stuck in that wheelchair all the time, he had arm grabbers. He was a tax man, so he moved here to work on base, is why our family ended up in Ridgecrest. So he ended up here, and my mom moved here when she was 9 months pregnant with me. So, you know, 1979, and my mom moves here, and here we are. But, you know, Grandpa came here because of the base, and then he started his own tax business. But I worked for him I was 12 and 13 doing tax collating with him. I would call him, make like the appointments for his taxes, and make all his like appointments when they had to come in and sign and stuff. So he kind of showed me a lot of that by having his own business at home. Like I would like to play office in there, and I think just watching him do what he did, it kind of trained me a lot of things that I learned. And then another thing is he didn't think I was gonna really move and buy a house. You know, he's like, you ain't gonna get a house, you're 17. He's like, what are you thinking? You know, so he did not think that was gonna happen, and I said, Grandpa, it's gonna happen. So I put that $1,000 down, and 39 days later I got my house, and he was in shock.
Yeah, I'm in shock. You know, that's huge. You know, as when I was 17 years old, I wasn't thinking about buying a house, you know, but also I was living a completely different lifestyle. Right. I was making money, but I wasn't thinking of buying a home.
Right.
You know, like I wasn't like, oh, I'm gonna buy. Obviously, I didn't have no kids either. You know, I didn't have nothing toward that direction at that time.
We just moved around a lot as a young kid, you know, and.
Did you have any struggles, you know, growing up, or was it all just smooth sailing, beautiful life?
We had a lot of, you know, single mom, and she just always had to move, and year to year we had different houses. So, as a kid, we had to go to different schools. So that's just something that I learned that I didn't want my kids to do. So that was probably the first thing, is why I needed a house that young, because I wanted to be in one space, you know. So then Grandma, she says, once I got my house, she says, I'm not doing the holidays anymore. You bought a house now, I'm giving it to you. So Grandma gave me the, you know, option of taking over all the family parties and
you
holidays, and I took it over since I was 18. And
still today, you know. Sometimes you get mad at us because we're like, Tina, let's do this, switch it up a little bit this year. And you're like, you know, but I understand, you know, I do understand. That's why somehow we try to make just please everybody. We're like, bah, 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 because you know what? It's
really because of Grandma, you know. I just told her I would do it every year.
It's tradition, you know.
Yeah, and she gave me all her decorations and kind of led my first holiday of Christmas, you know. So from there, I'm just like, well, we're going to make the best of it every year. She always, like, made the best food, cooked up the biggest feast, and if it was brunch or dinner, it didn't matter what it was, she always made sure it was one of them, you know. So I think just from watching her cook all that food and hustle, she's just like me, in the kitchen by herself, making sure it was all on that table, plating the tables. But I mean, she actually put out glass plates and gold forks for every holiday.
Oh, wow.
She did it fancy. And she would have these little gold cups, and she would make you little puddings with whipped cream on it. Like, she made it special, you know. So I try to do all that too, but we're not using the glass plates, you know. It's all about paper plates in the house because it's just, we always serve a lot of people. I mean, I fed up to 50 people at one time before, you know. But I just feel every holiday, I don't want anybody ever starving. I want to feed the world. And that's probably a problem. But I want to make sure, you know, just as a kid, we always didn't have always all the food we needed. So I want to make sure the world has what they need. And I want to make sure everybody has food if they need it, you know. So I don't know. I'm a very emotional person over food, hunger, or just, you know, life, basic life. Just, you know, making sure that everybody lives good, you know. And even if the people are drugged out, tweaked out, I want to feed them. I don't want them to starve, you know. So every holiday, I want to make sure that they're fed. And even if my house had 60 people in it, I don't care. Even if I had to buy that food.
All this time, all this stuff you do, Tina, who takes care of you?
Me. You know, I mean, I feel my family. I feel you all look out for me. You know, but yeah, I mean, I'm a hustler bee. That's just who I am. It's not gonna stop. Even if we tried, it's not gonna. You know, even hitting me through surgery, it ain't gonna put me down. You know, I see the doctors on Wednesday and I'm going to go through another surgery, and he tried telling me like, oh, this is going to be a long surgery. You ain't going to be able to handle it. Dude, I've been through 7 surgeries and you're going to tell me I can't handle this little of removing the girl parts. Like, don't tell me you can't handle something like that, you know? And then he wants to say I'm on your side. But, you know, these doctors just don't understand. It's just like, we've been through a lot already, you know? So then I had to explain to this doctor, like, you don't know what I've been through, but you need to listen to me right now. You're either going to take care of me or somebody will. Because, you know, I want to be healthy, and I want to make sure that I live the longest I can, you know. I have kids and grandkids, and I'm young, you know. I mean, shoot, my daughter will be 30 and I'll be freaking 45, you know. My son will be, you know, 40, I'll be 60. I mean, I love the fact that I'm young, you know, to live life with my kids and grandkids, and, you know, I'll probably even see my great-great-grandkids is how I'm looking at life. We
love it too.
You know, and I don't know, I'm just going to make sure that, you know, I continue doing what I'm doing. I love working. I probably never stop, and that's, you know, probably an issue sometimes, but if I stop, I get bored and I think too much, you know, so I'm always moving. And if I'm at home, I don't know, I'm either crafting or watching a TV show, but normally I'm barely at home, you know, I'm always on the go. But, you know, it's all about work, hustle, how much money am I making to make sure I go on that next trip. And, you know, this year I'm working on Elite Princess Court for Mary Kay, and I just hit Princess Court, $20,000 in sales.
Damn.
So I need $10,000 more, and we are at probably, I need to make like $4,000 more, and I'll be an Elite. That's $30,000 into Mary Kay this year. I've always tried being a queen, but that's $40,000 in sales. But, you know, I make sure I do the best, and that's what I'm gonna do this year. So I'm working on Elite Princess Court for Mary Kay.
You guys hear that? Mary Kay?
I have
you need Mary Kay?
7 weeks left, but I have beautiful bouquets and baskets ready for them. For all the different holidays that are coming up, and
What's your how do people get a hold of you for Mary Kay?
okay, so I have a Facebook page, so Tina Buck, and it's hyphenated Gagliardi, Gagliardi. You gotta find me on Facebook. Once you get me on Facebook, then I have Mary Kay. It's called Mary Kay Beauties with Tina. So it's my Mary Kay page, and then I have a Pampered Chef page that's VIP Pampered Chef, and that's where you get all the discounts, or you find out what's going on with my business. I'll have sales for every holiday, things like that. So my Facebook page I keep updated. Plus I have a website for Mary Kay, which is marykay.com, and then you do the /tbuck8, and that gets you to my website. And my website gives you discounts for shopping on it. You just become a preferred customer. I send out catalogs every quarter to make sure you guys get all the new products coming out. And facials, I do free facials where you get to come learn about all the skincare. And we have 4 new skincare sets plus the makeup. we have new makeup quality that just came out. So normally we'll book 2 appointments. So in May, I actually have 2 big parties coming up. And how crazy it's been is COVID, people have not been wanting to come out to do house parties, you know. So we're trying to get back into that because everybody's been doing Zoom parties, but
Yeah, people are starting to come out of their shells, and
yeah,
honestly, all that you know, all that Zoom stuff, all that stuff's starting to get played out.
yeah,
People are getting tired of it. You know, I'm starting to notice that, yeah, there's still a lot of live stuff going on, but I'm starting to notice that people want hands-on human
Yeah.
contact again.
I'd rather have face-to-face, you
Me
know.
too.
Like I send out probably 70 samples in 5 months, you know, 70 kits, that's skincare, makeup, whatever to people. But that's how you would consider that's your facial. But then you're thinking, you don't really get to see them one-on-one. You don't know, did that make their face, did it react? Did it not? You know, did it look great on them? You don't know any of that. In a Zoom, you're just like on this video with them, but you can't really see. So I can't wait. So May, starting May 7th, where I have my first parties booked. My sister has booked one with the Elite girls, so I
Nice.
got 8 girls coming in on one party, and then she's gonna have another one booked. So we're gonna try and get these parties going again. And then also with my Pampered Chef, I started doing teaching of food classes. So a lot of women don't know how to cook, or maybe just don't understand how to do it the right way. So I want to teach them how to do that. So with Pampered Chef, I'm going to teach them by all the gadgets that we use and the equipment that we use. So I'm going to do recipes using that type of equipment or gadgets. And then that's just showing my business of Pampered Chef off on top of showing them how to cook a nice meal. So last week we did chicken fajitas, and we used a rock crock, and we cooked fajitas in 12 minutes in the microwave. And then we did brownies, 20 minutes in the oven, and we made guacamole in 5 minutes. So within 45 minutes, I made them a whole meal, and then we got to sit down and eat and just talk about what we did, you know. And if they want to buy anything, they could buy something, or they can just come and learn, or just try the food, or, you know, learn new things. So we're going to start doing cooking classes, though, but it's going to be $50 a class.
Okay.
And it'll be 1 hour. They'll come and they'll get to take a whole meal home with them that night, you know. So my one girlfriend does pancetta and lumpia, so she's the one that started it off, and she's like, Tina, I really think you should do it too. So I'm going to bring in, like, you know, the Indian tacos, show them how to do those, taco samosas, things that are kind of like tedious stuff, but it's things that people want to learn how to do, you know. So I want to bring that into their world, and they'll get to go home with a whole dinner for their family for that night. And it's going to kind of, you know, 4 girls at a time, 1 hour a week, maybe 2 times a week if it gets good, you know. But I want to do at least 4 classes a month, at least once a week.
That's nice. That's a good goal to set.
Yeah.
Do you have any big goals? Do you have any other big? What's your 10-year goal?
My own food truck.
Your own food truck?
That's my biggest goal.
Yeah.
Yep. I really want my own food truck. And, you know, people always like, Tina, why don't you open a restaurant? But you know, after working Jack in the Box 11 years.
Restaurant's a lot of work.
It is. And I went through 550 employees in 10 years, you know. So, and then you think about it, it's so many people have different personalities. I've dealt with every one of them. You know, through 550 employees at Jack in the Box, I have never seen some craziest people to the best workers, you know. But I'll tell you, I had the best relationships there. I trained the best managers there. Some of them are still working there. I haven't been there since 2008. So, I mean, it's been, what, 13 years? They're still working there as managers. So, you know, and they're Hispanic people that I trained then. They didn't even speak English then. And now they're speaking English. They're managers now. I mean, it's just amazing going in there and seeing those people still working, you know, because I haven't been there since 2008. And it's crazy. When I go around town, I was like, man, Tina, you still working Jack in the Box? Man, I haven't been there since 2008. But they still think I run that place, you know.
That's hilarious.
But, yeah, bucking good food is really what I want to come to town. And I want to, you know, it's not going to be where you're going to have one thing. You're going to see me Monday through Saturday, and every day is going to be something different. You know, so maybe Monday is going to be Italian day, Tuesday will be taco day, Wednesday will be egg roll day, Thursday would be Indian taco day, you know, but we're going to have a theme. But there will always be, you know, certain things on there for the vegan people, the people that don't like the meat, or the people that are keto. We'll have those one recipes every day for them, and then we'll have some desserts, you know. But I want people to know that, you know, on Mondays, you know that my truck's going to give you Italian food, you know, and you know on Tuesdays you're going to get this type of tacos, you know. So you'll have this menu that you can come to me on those days, and that's going to be your day of your specialties. So I want to be open Monday through Saturday, and for lunchtime, my biggest goal is to take care of the Burroughs kids, because that's where my heart's always been, is those kids never get good food. You think they spend, my son would get 1 hamburger and 2 Gatorades, $10. What did that give him? 2 Gatorades full of sugar and a hamburger that has nothing in it besides a little bit of protein, So I would love to park my food truck over there by Kmart, and that food, they have a huge parking lot with nothing going on over there, and just
give them some reasonable prices with good food.
$5 lunch, like some good food that they can eat and be happy with it, And even if you have healthy food for them, even the nice side salads, or make some crazy good salads, that they would love to just put in their foods, or even like taco samosas, it might not be healthy because it is fried, but it's better than what they would be eating over there.
Yeah. Or offer them a home cooked burger instead of, a freaking McDonald's burger,
Right. So that's really my goal, is lunchtime I want to focus on the kids. I would love to bring them better food in life. The Buck and Good food came from, I went on the show, the Great Food Truck Race. We tried to get on the show probably about 7 years ago. We did a whole food line, cooked all this food up. We did a big video. We came up with the logo. So a couple of my friends were like, man, these are some good names. My girlfriend Brittany came up with the name Buck and Good Food. So we had to put all this stuff and get it ready for the show. We didn't make it on the show, but that's all right. Someday it might happen. But if you ever did make it on that show, you would get your own food truck and $50,000 to start your business.
Man, I'm going to tell you, you're going to be bigger than that show one day.
I really want to be. I really do.
That's why I always tell you need to start, I'm always on you. You need to start recording your food. You start creating your own recipes, recording them, or just recording all the meals you make. Right. You prep some giant meals, and it'd be good to show people how to do that, because there's always someone trying to learn how to cook online.
Right.
You see a lot of those be having millions of views sometimes. It's because people want to learn. People are sometimes get tired of paying those high prices, or sometimes people just don't want to leave their home.
Right.
And there you go. You can start inspiring people to cook, or how to cook large amounts or different recipes, or right. Because you handle all those situations. If you have 100 people, you can cook for 100 people, and you can give them all the same quality as feeding 5 people.
Right.
So it's pretty cool. Let's see, so like, you got anything inspirational you want to tell anybody? You got before we close this out, what's something inspiration? How do you want to inspire people? How do you something you tell them? To move forward.
My biggest inspiration, I would say, is just you got to wake up every day with the affirmation to tell yourself how you're going to be, and even if you got to look in that mirror or write it on that mirror, but it's all about you getting yourself prepared for that day. Some people just kind of wake up and get up and go, but give yourself a little bit of shout out for the day, an affirmation, or just inspiring yourself. A lot of people really don't like to smile, but really the smiling is going to give you just a vibe walking out of the house, But my biggest thing of the day is just make sure you get up throughout your day and get up and, tell yourself what you're going to do for that day. Make yourself a to-do list, even if you have to do like 4 things, that you have to at least accomplish 2 to 3 of them. You can't just say, I'm going to make this list and not do it, So make your affirmations, get your to-do list of your 4 items, and get your goals going, And the biggest thing is you can't just think like, I'm going to go to work and everything's going to be fine, because work's just not going to take care of you, So if you want to keep, trips, if you want to do extra things in life, you definitely have to have a side job, side hustle, side business. You can't just think this one job's going to take care of me, because one job's never taken care of me, ever. At 16 years old, I was running Jack in the Box, working at High Desert Haven, going to full-time college, and it still never stopped me, So still today, I'm still hustling 3 jobs, 2 businesses, and do whatever I need to do to keep going.
And you still make time for everyone.
I sure do.
So, shout out to Tina. I'm very thankful to have you on the show. It was really cool to let people know, a little part of your story. You know, maybe we'll get a little more detail next time. You know, so we could hit them with some punchlines. You know, but I just want you to know that I'm very thankful to have you here. You're a very powerful person, and that's why I just wanted to put you on my show. And I want you to know I love you.
I love you too.
And thank you for everything you do for us, for my family, for my kids, you know,
You're
for
welcome.
everyone around us, for people I don't know. Thank you for that, you know. Even thank you for the people that don't deserve it, you know.
Yeah. But you know, even the people that don't deserve it in life, there's many people in life that, you know, might have done bad things in life or something, but they do apologize. I have been apologized to, you know, so.
Well, I also, you know, I say they don't deserve it, but who am I to say they don't deserve it? I just like to talk shit, you know, because people just make me angry.
But I am too nice. I do agree. I do need to work on that. But I know I do give out a lot.
But look at you. You know, you know. I think that's what makes you. You know, it builds you, builds your character. It keeps you going. You know, I know that's your huge motivation for the day. So, you know, let's.
But another thing I like to do is I like to build diaper cakes, and that's just been something fun I like to do in my side time is kind of create things for babies, you know. But I love, you know, creating things.
So remember that you need a diaper cake. You know where to go. You know.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We'll have a little bit of more info at the end. You know, so you can be able to contact Tina for anything you need done for Mary Kay, Pamper Chef, diaper cakes. You know, or maybe you just want to buy her a food truck. You know, but you know, thank you for being on the show. Thank you for tuning in to the C.O.E. show. We're about to tune out. Contact Tina Buck Gagliardi for your Mary Kay needs, Pamper Chef needs, or you need a diaper cake made. Hit her up at 760-590-1167.